All right, guys. Hey, we're going to get going. We are going to be talking about relocation today. And I'm excited for you guys to get to meet Heather Barker. I don't know how many of you have met her yet, but Heather's one of my most favorite people. She is an amazing leader, and I've given her a new title. She is the czar of relocation. So she's our relocation czar. I don't know. Maybe that sounds too punchy in the face. I don't know.
I'll
But
take it.
no, Heather's the relocation director, so she oversees all things relocation. And she's going to give you guys some ideas today that will help you do more business and make more money. With that, I'm going to actually, right before I turn it over, so if you guys will just, as always, throw in first and last name and your office in the chat box, I would appreciate it, just so I have a record. And I think we've got a couple people maybe in the training room, so I'll print out a sign-in sheet and bring that up in just 1 minute. But I'm going to turn you guys over to Heather. She's going to take awesome care of you and teach you some good things about relocation. So, Heather, take it away.
Thanks, Russ. Had a little mishap this morning. I realized that I had deleted my slides when I was preparing for another presentation. So that was exciting, but I was able to kind of put them all back together a little bit. So I hope there's not real old stuff in here. Just want to give you a heads up on that. Just kind of reminiscent, when you go out for a presentation, you always think you're prepared, and then these little surprises just crop up. So now, don't be annoyed, but probably partway through, I'm going to want to see your faces, because I can see your names, but I don't know you. So I am going to do a PowerPoint presentation for you. But towards the end, I'd like to, pull the curtain back, so to speak, if you don't mind, and we'll take a look at you, so I can see your face and hopefully connect the name. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with. I'm going to share my screen. I just want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Okay. So can you guys see the screen? Let me just open the chat box here. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Brian. And I do recognize Brian's name, actually. So one of the things we're going to talk about is outgoing referrals, and he has sold one. He's closed one. So that's exciting. But anyway, this is relocation. This is 18. This is one of the slides. It should be relocation 101. And the reason we put this together for you is to create some awareness around some of the benefits that are yours and offered to you, and kind of the function of relocation, because it's a subject that it gets overlooked by agents. It's not something that's top of mind. And we just want you to have kind of those tools in your toolbox to know that it exists, A, B, that there's things that you'll hear that now you'll recognize after the class. And then just to know that we're here to support you as part of the services here at Century 21 Everest. So I'm going to try to advance the slide here. There we go. So our agenda today, we're just going to talk about, the relocation department, who does what, who's in the department, who you can reach out to if you need something, what the actual function of the department is within Century 21 Everest. We're going to go over just the basics of relocation and referrals. We're going to talk about incoming referrals, outgoing referrals, inter-office referrals, some additional information that, we're going to go through some definitions here in a minute. So, but there's been a lot to learn about relocation, and it's a real fun industry, just like real estate. So that's me. I'm Heather Barker, Director of Relocation, and I'm also handling broker-to-broker referrals right now. So if you do have a broker-to-broker referral outside your network, which we're going to talk about next, then I would be the one you contact. But anyone on the team can take it. Anyone on the team can help you. And my second in charge is Debbie Thompson. She's the Senior Account Manager. She works with Cardis and other third-party real estate or relocation companies, and she's the Affinity Specialist. Diana Valenzuela, she sits just outside my door on the 6th floor in Utah in the corporate office, and she is the relocation account manager for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We actually handle their relocations across the nation, and she oversees that process. And then Melanie Lockhart, who is currently working from home, during the COVID situation. She's the corporate account manager also for the Churches of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And she handles donation properties and land and acquisitions and dispositions of properties the church no longer needs. And that's just the residential part. And that is also across the United States. So it's a really cool part of the department here at Everest and something that we're pretty proud of. Then we've got Monica. Monica's kind of my woman of all talents. So she does relocation transaction coordination. So she is specifically over the relocation transactions that close within the company, and she manages that process. And then she most recently took over the OpCity account. So you might hear more about that in the future. This is kind of an e-lead situation. And what that means, OpCity leads to come into the company, go to this company called OpCity, and OpCity scrubs them and then assigns them back to our agents. So it's not a specific slide that we're going to talk about, but it's something I'll talk about at the end. So some of those definitions, you might be like, what's an affinity coordinator and what's a third-party relocation management company? Okay, so outgoing broker-to-broker referral. This is if you have a buyer, this is a buyer or a seller with a real estate need outside your normal market area. So I'm going to use Salt Lake as an example. If you work in the Union Park office in Salt Lake City, Utah, and you have a referral come in for for Logan, for instance, and you don't service that area, it's about, a good 3-hour drive up to Logan from here. And it's not something that you really feel like you can assist with. That would be outside your market area, even though it's within your state and it's within driving distance if you really want to do it. But most agents would consider that outside the market area. That's an outgoing referral, and that's an outgoing referral need. Inter-office, broker-to-broker referrals. This would also apply to the Logan situation. This is, we have an agent that lives up there and that works up there. So you would place that through the relocation department and we would assign it to that agent. And that's inside Everest. So that is a family referral. So basically, one of our agents has a need outside their market area. So we assign it to a company agent whenever possible, because of course we want to keep that business in-house. We want to keep it inside the company. So that's the difference between outgoing and inter-office. An incoming broker-to-broker referral would be when another real estate company sends a referral to our company. So if Century 21 Award in California has a need in Salt Lake City or St. George, they will typically contact us and let us know that this is coming in, and we receive that referral and service it. So that's incoming broker-to-broker. I'm also going to just insert here that if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. I am trying to monitor that. You can also take yourself off mute. This is interactive, so it's really weird just talking to myself through this process since COVID started. So if you have questions, just pop in, and it's not a big deal. Just let's talk. So with that, so a third-party corporate referral. This is when a buyer or seller is sent to Century 21 Everest from a relocation management company. This is when someone is offered a job transfer, say to Texas, and we have the opportunity to compete for the listing. It's usually a competing listing situation. And we go out, we send an agent out to compete for that listing, and then they will relocate to another state. Typically, these folks have some form of benefit package that they're receiving from their company. So it's important that they follow the guidelines that their company sets to protect their benefit package. And we're going to talk about some language you can use if you run into one of these where they say, hey, I have to use my relocation company's agent. All right, so we're going to go through that a little bit later. Okay, next, affinity business referrals. And we're going to go into more depth on all of this stuff, okay? This is just kind of an overview. So affinity business referrals. Affinity relationships include an agreement between companies to provide real estate services with benefits to employees or members. We currently are a provider for several of those companies. We also have internal programs that we're going to discuss. This benefit often includes a cashback credit from the agent at closing, or it's additional services and discounts that are available to them. And this business may be incoming or outgoing. So we have an affinity partnership with the LDS Church, and anyone who works for the church, not as a member of the church, but works for the church, does have the ability to take advantage of that, whether they're in Utah or California or Nebraska. Okay. We'll talk about that. Agent generated referral business. This is business you would generate or register with the relocation department. This deserves more explanation. Basically, if you have a third-party corporate client, so there's somebody that you know that is being transferred with their job and they do have benefits, this would be an agent-generated referral. Military member or a member of another program that you want to enroll into one of these affinity relationships, that would be agent-generated business. And then other business that you might want to partner with the relocation department to create. There's a lot of opportunity here that people just don't think about or don't know about that we want to make sure you are aware of. So if I'm talking too fast, please, slow me down. So I think it's important for you to understand the function of the relocation department. So we are both considered a profit center for the company, and we're also an agent service center. So the profit center is because we have incoming referral business that we assign to agents that are on the relocation team. So that includes the third-party relocation business we talked about, broker-to-broker incoming business, call-in leads, web leads, inter-office referrals, and other business development that we manage either in partnership with agents or on our own. The Agent Service Center includes placing outgoing broker-to-broker referrals, placing inter-office referrals. And I'm meeting with Danette just to provide some updated listing marketing materials that you can use in a listing presentation. There's guidance and education on how to manage a relocation transaction. These are not normal transactions. So if you have ever had a buyer and you're working with someone who's being relocated by a company and there's all this extra paperwork, et cetera, we're here to guide you through that process. We also provide community information for your clients and business development partnerships that we'll talk about more, and the Everest Moves Concierge program, which is newer this last year, and we're actually preparing a relaunch here in the next month or two. So one of the most important things I want you to leave with today is how easy it is to send a broker-to-broker outgoing referral. So I like to talk about this because I like to tell a story here where one year I'm a licensed agent. I don't do, full-time real estate or anything. I obviously have a full-time job, but with family and friends, I'll help them here and there. And they always ask me questions because they know I work for a real estate company. And one year, this was several years ago, my husband and I were driving to Christmas dinner. And I said, I'm really upset. My dad just keeps calling me and telling me that he keeps talking to his agent in his neighborhood about this house that's for sale. He's making these calls for Carrie, and Carrie's calling me. Carrie's my sister. And I said, it just really bothers me that he's not just calling me and asking me for the information. Why wouldn't he do that? And my husband at the time, Travis, he said, maybe he doesn't know you're a real estate agent. And I said, what? I said, I've been licensed for 15 years. How could he not know I'm not a real estate agent, or that I'm a real estate agent? He said, I don't know, maybe they don't know. And I said, that's ridiculous. Of course they know. All right. So lo and behold, we get to dinner, and after dinner, we do the family gathering. There's 6 siblings. I have 5 siblings, plus my parents, their spouses, their kids, everybody's there. And Travis says, hey, everyone, Heather has an announcement to make. And I immediately feel my face go beet red. And I'm like, no, I'm not pregnant. No, we were just talking in the car. And I thought, Travis thought that maybe you guys don't know that I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Utah. And it was shocking. Out of the 30 or so people that were there, only like 2 of them knew that I had a real estate license and that I could help them with real estate transactions. So I'm the perfect example of what it's like to be a secret agent. It's the worst story in the world. And since that time, I've done like 6 transactions just for my family, my niece, my nephew, my sister, a friend of my sister's, a friend of her friend. So that kind of stuff happens when you just talk about real estate and make sure people know that you are that you are a real estate agent. Same thing goes with outgoing referrals. If your sphere of influence or the people you talk to don't know that you can help them anywhere in the United States, and frankly, almost anywhere in the world, we have had some success globally. It's a lot harder though, I'll just tell you that. But if they don't know that you can help them somewhere else, then they're not going to ask you for help. And you're not going to know to talk about it if you don't know that you can do that. So just know that you can help anyone in the United States, and frankly, anywhere in the world, given enough time. So I just want to put that out there. We've got some tools for you to use so that you can educate your sphere. We've got scripts we're going to talk about, but it's a big mistake if you're not at least talking about it. So why would you use the relocation department to send your referrals? So I want to talk a little bit about referral placements and what that looks like. So when we're placing a referral with an in-network broker, so I say in-network, we're going to talk about what that looks like. But these agents, to be on the team, they must have at least 2 years minimum full-time real estate experience, and they have to be certified and trained as a relocation expert. So every year, the team has to do 2 trainings. There's a spring training and a fall training. And all of the behavior metrics and things that are required of that agent in order to serve these clients is covered in those trainings. So these are not just, give me your floor agent calls. Okay. This is, we want someone that's an expert. We want to know that they're going to take good care of our clients, that they understand the importance of referral business. So that is an important factor. We also work with first-class broker networks. Of course, we have the Century 21 Brokers Network, but we also have access to the Cardis Broker Network, which is 3,500 Realogy brokers. And they actually just recently changed their name from Cardis on this network to Realogy Broker Network. So that is one of the networks we use, and I'll show you what that looks like. We also have a service satisfaction guarantee within the network. So if I place something with Century 2021 Award in California and my client's not satisfied, your client's not satisfied, then I call. We always try to fix things first. And if it's unfixable, or if it's like, no, we really need to move it, then I'll call my counterpart in that market and let them know that we're going to pull that referral. So there's no fighting over broker broker agreements or anything like that. It is like, yep, we'll release it. And there's no questions. It just gets released and no questions asked. And I do the same thing. I had to pull one a few months ago because this broker or this buyer talked to a for sale by owner. And this was, anyway, this is not a good story. I did have to pull it because they did talk to a buyer or for sale by owner. He had a buyer broker agreement, and it's not fair necessarily, but when that company called me to ask me to get it released, then that's the agreement, so it does protect your client and their relationship with that agent. And if it's not working, we can fix it. Okay. I like that about the program. And I also hate it when it happens to us, but it doesn't happen often. So any questions so far? You guys good? This is why I like to see your faces, because I can't see anybody. Okay, so the broker network I'm talking about. So the Cardis network, which is now Realogy Network, there's 440 principal brokers and 330 associate brokers. Now, what does that mean to you? Probably not much. However, in Utah, I'll give you an example. There are 2 principal brokers and 3 other companies within that network that are associates. As a principal broker, though, we get the first opportunity to service a client. So that is, go on a listing presentation and compete with the other principal broker in the marketplace. And so as a principal broker, we're seeing more buyers and more sellers than other companies that get that business. And the Cardis third-party relocation management company, they're the biggest in the world. So they're kind of a big deal. We're part of that network. That's part of the listing advantage that we'll talk about a little bit later. And what we're trying to put together is some marketing materials for you. So it's easy for you to explain it and easy for you to show the benefit of why it's good to work with a company that has a full service relocation management company, or not really relocation department. And why it's different than working with someone who doesn't have relocation transactions coming into the company. Okay. But there's different brands. So when you're talking to people about sending them outside your marketplace to another agent, you don't want to tell them that we'll have another Century 21 agent call you, because it's not always going to be Century 21. It's going to be the best broker for that area that we have access to. And like I said, for those reasons I listed out in the last slide, We prefer to stay within the network because there's power in the network, and there's power in the training, and there's power in that service contract that we have with each other. So it's going to be Century 21, Coldwell Banker, ERA, NRT. There are some unaffiliated companies in the network. There's going to be Better Homes and Gardens, and also Sotheby's. So those are the main companies that we send business to and receive business from within that powerful network. If we don't have someone in that network that is available in a certain area, which happens, I'd say 15% of the time, it might be a really small area where there's just not a lot of business going to and from, so there isn't a network broker listed for us. Then we'll move to our second network, which is the Century 21 Broker Network. So not all, you'll be like, this is confusing because they're part of NRT, they're part of Relogy. And the reason that's confusing is that not every Century 21 broker is part of the Relogy network of brokers. So, and that is confusing, and I bet that will grow in the future. But for those that are, we would find them. If they're not, then we go out and look for them. And if there is a Century 21 broker in the area where we're looking for placement opportunities, then we'll typically go that direction because we like to support the brand. We know that there's a relationship there as well with the brand. Century 21 Everest is pretty well known within the brand. Now that we continually have some of the top offices in the world and in the nation. It's kind of cool that you're part of this company, and that matters to the network of Century 21. If there's no one for Century 21, well, I guess American Relocation Alliance is also part of the Century 21 network. I'm actually the president of that. One of the reasons I got involved in this organization is so that I could learn new things to bring back to you. And when we come together as a brand with relocation business and ideas, then there's power, in the brand, and there's power using that brand to improve our departments and to improve information that we're bringing back to our agents within the company. So that, we always go there first within the brand as well. But if they're not there either, then I go to my Relocation Directors Council, which is all brands, including leading real estate companies of the world. So I know Troop, before they became Everest, was part of that network, and we go to these meetings with them all the time. And so we also partner with leading real estate companies of the world, as well as the Relogy network. So all of these resources that we have, we already have them. It's not something you need to go out and search for. So as a service to you, we place those referrals for you. And so you don't have to. We're placing them with qualified networks and companies. And we have relationships with these companies and expectations with each other. And that actually supports you and your client quite a bit over time. In that way, you're not going out looking for someone just on your own. But these are the four main groups that we use as we're placing those referrals, so that you know. Whew, that was long. Okay, so there's some additional services that are part of this program that we can offer to your clients. If you have a buyer that's moving to Texas, we are partnered with Inspiro Financial, and they actually service loans in 36 states through the parent company Panorama. And so what we do, if we talk to your client, or if you talk to your client and they need lender assistance, we'll often go to Inspiro first and see if they service that state. And if so, if they can talk to that client and get them pre-approved. And then we'll send that information to the assigned agent so that they then can partner together. So why would that be important for you? And, why would it make a difference to have Inspiro Financial here locally part of the process for your client who's moving out of state? I should start asking more questions. That's what I'm going to do. Can you see any advantage to that? I think Brian's typing right now, or Adrian. Or you guys are like taking calls on the side. No one's answering, so that means no one's listening. Trying to do my hair. Adrian, at least you're honest, and that's perfect. Um, that'll teach me to ask questions, guys.
I'm
Oh.
here. No, I'm here, but you said you wanted to see me in a minute. I'm like, oh God, I better fix my hair.
That's sweet. You don't have to look good for me, geez. Okay, so the only thing I was going to say on this is, if you have someone that you work with locally, handling information and stuff for your client nationally, how much can you be of assistance to that client if anything goes wrong, or if the agent has questions? It's just really great to have a partner help outside of your market area. And so that's why I like that we can offer that assistance nationwide. We also offer national community information, and I'll kind of walk through what that looks like for your clients. It actually just goes out, this map goes out to them when we assign the agent. And they can look at it if they are interested, and they don't have to if they're not. It's just kind of an opt-in, right? Same with the door-to-door concierge service. I think I have an old information on the next slide, or on one of the upcoming slides, but it used to be OneSource, and OneSource is still a good option nationally, and we might just keep it that way because they do similar to what our new Everest Moves concierge service provides. And huh?
Why are you not in their live?
Oh my gosh, I'm being interrupted right on my call by Sam Bell, our president.
Because I was watching you. The other
You were? I guess there's people in the other room, guys. So I promised Russ I do it live next time in front of people, but I wasn't prepared for that today. So I had to do my hair along with Adrian and Nicole. So anyway, the door-to-door concierge service. So OneSource, they will if your client goes in and registers, so it's an opt-in, all of this is opt-in stuff, right? Your client will go in and register, they'll help set up utilities, they will help them set up their TV and their alarm systems if they want them, and they'll help them with moving companies. It's a really great service that's available to them to use for free. It doesn't cost them anything unless they engage in the service, of course, but they choose which services they engage in. So it's a really non-threatening, beautiful service to offer when your clients are moving out of state or out of your area.
Heather, if I can interject for a minute, it's
Yes.
Adrian. I really am a big proponent of relocation services because I lived in Brussels for a couple of years, and when we went there, obviously it's another country and another language with some specific cultural differences, but they have the the Dutch speaking section of Brussels and then the French speaking. So getting someone who's familiar with the culture, of course, getting your, the nuances of the rental laws and the buying laws and who needs a job and who doesn't overseas. But the people that can really help you fit in. And our company did offer, as part of the relocation package, it offered kind of a cultural and logistics integration. So it was wonderful, and it's absolutely needed when you're moving overseas. But I can see how it would, being a New Yorker coming to Utah, I probably could have used it too.
You're not kidding. I mean, and I think a lot of companies struggle. They're like, should we or shouldn't we provide cultural training? And I think you make a good. I mean, I can't imagine going to another country and going to another state. It's difficult. Like this relocating and moving, you've heard this a lot, even street to street, right, is one of the most stressful things people do in life, is making a move. And so if you can imagine going to a whole new area, new schools, everything's new, you don't even know anything about it, without a trusted partner in place, it's a big deal. So cool on you, Adrian. How many times have you moved?
I've moved a lot of times in my life. I mean, I grew up in New York City, but I've lived overseas, and I've lived in San Francisco and Dallas, and then some small towns around. But it's in different countries there are different laws, but I think state to state it's also nice. It's kind of having a neighbor or a friend that lives there already to help you get integrated with the little things are really what makes the difference.
Well, and it's a really important point to make to all of us on the call, that when you're working with someone that's from out of state, like you're their first friend, right? Like you're the first person they know, and they're going to lean on you a little bit more heavily. So I like that's a really good point and something to be aware of, especially if you haven't moved state to state before, like I haven't. I've been in Utah my whole life. I could move, I have opportunities, but it's like I don't want to leave Utah, frankly, and my family's all here, etc. But if I did, I would definitely be looking to my agent as my main resource of information and guidance. And that's just what we do, right? So I'm going to show you the community information. So this is actually available for Utah as well. So if you have someone moving here, you can send them this. If they come through us, of course, we send this to them. And you can tell it's still the old version of this slide. I apologize for the old logo, but we send out to anyone who's relocating out of state, we send them this map. And it's interactive, and they just go in and they click on Texas. I'm going to be somewhere in Texas today. And they click on this. They pick their city, which happens to be Dallas Metro. And then this comes up for them, it mirrors the one we have for Utah, right? So it just has a picture of Texas. And then they have access to the welcome home information, the culture and recreation, and the community profiles. And so what this does is it breaks it down by county oftentimes, and then city. And it will talk about, the education system and have all of the schools and information about education in there, the hospital information, where you would do your licensure cars. So all of that is built into this community profile. And it's available to your clients here in Utah, as well as out-of-state clients. Okay, so you always have access to this. It's actually on c21everest.com is our website, in case you were wondering. So c21everest.com, you go in there, and then you go into the relocation services tab, and it's at the very bottom, and you can get to it. But if you haven't checked out that tab, you might want to. Some of this stuff is on there for your use, and we put it there as a service to you to use with your clients. All right, so the next thing is we have national partnerships and discounts that we offer. One Source Solutions is one of those partners, as is Everest Moves, which is a different type of concierge service, but very similar. And then there's the Century 21 Home Protection Plan, which is through American Home Shield. Lowe's, I am looking into this because someone asked me for the flyer on this yesterday, and I went in to get it. You find these business benefits on 21 online. So these are benefits for your clients. I think I have a whole nother slide later that shows it. But if you went to 21 online and in the search bar, just click, type in benefits. And it says, business benefits, and then customer benefits. And so you go to customer benefits, and it will have instructions on how to get these discounts and how they can take advantage of it. And you can use this with all your clients. It's in Utah, outside Utah, anywhere. I just like to make sure you know about them and you know where to find them, so that if someone says they're going to move themselves and they're going to use budget, they're going to rent a truck, that you get them a 20% discount on that truck. Or if they're going to do pods, that you can provide them with a 10% discount on pods. Okay. Through our partnership with One Source and Everest Moves, they will actually provide 3 bids for movers if they want a full service moving company. So there's a lot of services that are available for your clients through these through Century 21 and through Everest, that we put together for your use. And that's part of the services we want to make sure you're aware of. I feel like I wanted to say something else. What I was going to say, we're going to talk about affinity relationships. Well, these companies on 21 online, these companies have an affinity relationship with Century 21. And so that is one way to look at this. So they're providing these services to our customers and our clients because it benefits them, right? We're referring them through this process, and they're providing a discount. And so that's kind of how these processes work. There's also business benefits in 21 online for you. So if you haven't looked at those, or you forgot about them, or someone mentioned it before, just take a look at the benefits. Just put in benefits and look at what your business benefits are. So you're going to see phone discounts in there. And if you haven't even looked at that or taken advantage of that, well, I guess you don't like money, because like that can save you some money, right? So just make sure you're taking a look and seeing what's available to you through your relationship with Everest. All right, so now we've talked about what a referral is and that you can help anyone anywhere. And here's how you place it. So you always need to get permission from your client. So I don't ever want to call someone and have them be like, what? No, I didn't give permission. I didn't ask for help with that. So you just need to make sure that they understand that someone's going to be calling them. You gather the information, and at least the minimum we have to have is a client name and client phone number. And I will always call the client. I or someone on my team will call the client and introduce ourselves as part of the relocation department and as working with you, the agent. So I would say, hey, this is Heather Barker. I'm the relocation director at Century 21 Everest. I work with Adrienne Wall, and we were talking about how you're relocating to Nebraska. And we're getting you set up with a fantastic agent. I just want to know more about your timeline, what's your email address. I'll get the information I have to place it. But as long as you get us the name and a phone number, I will place it. That's how much we want those referrals to be placed through the network. Okay. Now, the more information you provide, obviously, the easier it is to get the best fit agent. So keep that in mind as well. I'm not telling you to only provide name and phone number, but if that's what you give me, I'll take it. All right, and then you send the information to me, and it's relo@c21everest.com. The reason I use this instead of my other one, which is heather.barker@c21everest.com, just comes to me. But relo@c21everest.com actually goes to 3 people on my team. So for instance, tomorrow I'm going to be out of town. I'm not going to be here. So if you just send it to me, there's a good chance I won't get it in a timely manner because I'll be flying, I'll be taking it on the plane or won't be looking at it necessarily all day. So it's important that you use relo@c21everest.com because that will go to the people that would be covering for me naturally, which is Debbie and Monica. So that is an important email address for you to keep. And then my phone number, that is my office phone. That also goes to the message also goes to my email. So I'm always available on that number. And then, my cell phone number is published. It's on the site and everything. I don't mind if you call me on that if you need to. That's it. You're done. That's all. You just need to get permission, send the name and phone number to me, and that's all. So is that easy? Yeah? Easy, Brian. Good job. And Brian can say that because he's done it. All right. So he had a family member, I believe it was, Brian, right? Do you want to pop on and say what you think about that? How that experience went?
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, my brother moved to Washington, and
Was it Washington State? Yeah,
yeah,
it was.
Washington. Yeah, and they didn't have any, they had no connections over there, and so I just sent him to you guys, and you guys took care of him. It was great.
So Brian, how long did it take you to place that referral?
Not very long. I can't remember exactly, but the agent that you guys connected with them out there called me pretty quick.
Yeah. So there's a new process that's coming out. It's called Agent Exchange, and it's where you can get on and fill out the information online or on the app, and then it will give you options for agents. Do you think you would like the opportunity to pick the agent that would serve your client?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then I've had, we had, I think it was the team training. I was like, was he in front of the whole company? And we're gonna be sending out more and more information about this just to educate everybody. But Brian McKinnon, he's here in Utah, and he picked an agent, and he was with his clients at their listing appointment, and they were moving to Florida. So he went ahead and got into the app and found the agent, and everybody agreed that was the agent they wanted to talk to. He sent the information, and that agent called, I kid you not, within 10 minutes. Like, he wasn't expecting them to even call because the rule is 2 hours, right? But he called within 10 minutes, and they were sitting there talking together still. So it's a really impressive program, and you will have the opportunity to sign up for Agent Exchange and take advantage of that. But you don't have to do it that way. You can always send it the traditional way, which is send me an email. Okay. So that's easy. And then I don't know if he's okay to share it, but so you did, let's say it took you 30 minutes to place the referral. What was the amount of your check? Do you remember?
I don't. They bought they ended up buying a new construction home, and I can't remember, there was a situation where you might have to tell me, I was actually going to ask this, I don't know if when they went into the open house, they didn't go in with
Oh, they go with the agent.
agent. So I don't know what happened with that. I told them they shouldn't do that. They should always, whenever they go anywhere, always go with the agent. But so it could have been a different amount. I don't even know.
Okay. Well, I would say, so thank you, Brian. I appreciate your contribution. The average for, I will say 2019, because I haven't even looked at it for 2020, but the average for 2019 was 2,000 per transaction. I actually have someone that sent a referral to Arizona, and she was going to get a $16,000 check back for that. But the deal canceled because of an inspection situation. I'm so sad for her, but they'll go under contract again and it will come through. And the other one that we just had the other day was 8,000. So I'm just saying, like, there's money to be made here just by promoting this to your sphere. All right. And even if it was $1,000, I mean, $1,000 for 30 minutes is pretty good money. And so I just want you to keep that in mind as you're moving this forward. What can you expect from us after you send us the information? We do our best to assign the agent within 24 hours of us talking to your client. So sometimes we can't get a hold of the client for a day or two. So just keep that in mind. If we've made a couple of attempts and we can't get the client to pick up, then we will call you and let you know, like, hey, we haven't been able to make contact, that sort of thing. But within 24, 48 hours, you should be hearing from that referring agent. You should be getting the information for the assigned agent. And then update reports, we require an update after the first 2 weeks, because that's typically when something's really moving and you want to make sure that the communication is happening. And then every 30 days after that is when you should see an update from us. And typically it's just going to be coming from that assigned agent on the other end, and we're just forwarding the information to you. Most of these agents in the network will actually call you and talk to you about, hey, thanks for the referral. We've made contact. We'll kind of give you a personal update. It's totally up to you if you want to be involved with that agent throughout the transaction or not. We find, and we send this in the email we send to you about the agent, that if you stay in touch with the agent, oftentimes there's a better close rate. Plus you're creating a relationship out of the state. Like if they send something here, they may be like, hey, I'd like to use Brian. Can we use Brian on this? So it's kind of important. Just networking nationally through these referrals is not a bad thing to do. So keep that in mind. But the requirement is that you just place it, we follow it up for you, and then we'll send you the information. And if there's a problem, you can let us know or we'll let you know. Okay, shwoo, that was a lot of information. So on an outgoing broker to broker referral, what's in it for you? So the payout, the referring agent will be paid 21% of the function commission minus the marketing franchise fees. So we don't do splits on this. So if you're on a 70-30 split or something like that, it doesn't matter. We pay out 100% of what we can based on the 21%. Okay. In most cases, that's what's coming back into the company. It's 21%. So we pay you everything that we can minus the franchise fee. And so the example of that, if there's a $400,000 sales price, 3% is the function commission, you get 21% of that minus the franchise fee. Okay. So like I said, it's a pretty good program and pretty easy for you to use. As long as you're talking about it, you're going to have someone ask for help. So agent scripting, this is in your script book now. Worked with Russ and Rick and everybody to get this in the script book for you. And really, it's just a simple question. And my encouragement to you is take a chance, and anyone you talk to, if you're going to be prospecting anyway, can you add this last question? Do you have a real estate need outside of this marketplace? I think a lot of people would be like, what do you mean? All right, that's kind of what I think would be the response for most people. Then you can say you offer, Century 21 offers a world-class relocation service. We assist people who need to move to another city, state, or even out of the country. Do you have a need anywhere else in the world? And they're like, well, I have a rental in Tennessee that's going vacant next month that I need to sell. Are you saying you can help me with that? I mean, do you see how that could happen? Another way to use this is if you're calling for sale by owners or expireds, you know, a different tact would be, hey, for sale by owner, you know, I know that you're not interested in talking to an agent on your listing. I'm sure you've been getting a lot of calls, but I would like to know where you're headed. Are you going to be buying something else within the market? Or are you going to be heading out of, you know, out of the area? And that's one other thing you can offer as a service to them. And so keep that in mind as well. Same thing with expireds. You can always ask this question in addition to all the other stuff, all the other scripts, everything else you're doing. This can just be a different thing to ask than other people are going to be asking. All right, so hopefully that helps. Something else we've got in place that we want to help you. We're putting together, I have another one coming out for March. Every month, I'm trying to provide you with a neutral, I do referrals outside this network type or this market type of thing you can post on social media. That's one more way to just let your sphere know that you can do this. My favorite one we've ever done, and I love it, love it, love it, is the world is 70% water. Your Century 21 Everest agent can help you everywhere else. And that you just repost that, and it's, you know, it's cool, right? With a little blurb that says, hey, I can help you anywhere. If you have a need outside this market area, contact me, right? I love referrals everywhere. That was last month. And then this month, ooh, what is it? It's something about luck for sure. Something about being lucky that your Century 21 Everest agent can help you anywhere. So something like that, but it'll just be theme based, and it's just something that you can repost to your sphere of influence, you know, and let them know that you can offer this service. All right, next, this is the flyer. So it looks like just like the other post, but it's actually a flyer that you can insert your picture and your information right here. And you can use this for door knocking. You can use this at open houses when they start up again, if they're not already started. I don't think they're in California yet, but as soon as you can, this is something you can put in an open house. You can door knock with it. And the complimentary referral services, this is something that you can just have in hand that someone can just fill out. And it just basically sells the service for you, that it's free. We can help you anywhere. And I can be part of that transaction and advocate for you if anything comes up, right? So these things are going to be sent to you in an email from Russ after the meeting so that you don't have to ask me for them. But yeah, you can totally use this. If you have questions, call me. But these are things that you should kind of keep an eye out for and just know that we created them so that you can use them, all right? All right, inter-office referrals. I think I covered this pretty good. I do not know why my sound is up on this. I apologize. Okay, so we covered this already, but I wanted to explain the difference in the payout for inter-office referrals. We try to make this a benefit to you because we have a little bit more control over the referral fees. So you will receive 25% instead of 21% when it goes inter-office. So if you do have something for a market area that you don't cover, if you work in Salt Lake and there's someone that wants to buy something in St. George, call the referral department. You still get 25%, and we don't do a split. We give you everything except the franchise fee that we need to pay on every dollar we get. Okay, so now why is that a benefit to you? You could place it yourself, you know, and you will be paying a split on that. So if you send it through the department, then there is a benefit to you for doing that. All right. Same thing with California. We have all those offices in California that we love to send referrals to. So keep that in mind. Okay, incoming third-party business. So we're changing subjects. If there's any questions about outgoing referrals, please pop it in the chat or unmute yourself. That's a lot of detail, and I know like some people get sick of hearing about outgoing referrals, and I hope you do get sick of hearing about it because then you're thinking about it sometimes, you know, when you're out. All right, incoming third-party business. This is relocation management companies. These are some of the companies we've worked with and that we work regularly with. Altair is a big one. Cardis, of course, Heirs, some Lexicon, Paragon, the MI Group. NEI is one of my favorites to work with. They're super friendly. Cap Relo, Cornerstone, and Crown. We've done all of those this year. These are just some of the many, okay? There's a lot of relocation management companies out there. So what I want you to know about this is that we do work with all of them, all right? There's not one that exists that we can't work with. Now, some of these companies, I'm gonna use Grable as an example, they have their own network of companies that they work with. It's just a little harder to get in there. And so oftentimes it will have to come in as a requested agent referral, all right? I'm gonna give you the information on that here in the next couple slides. But one of the reasons it's good to work for a company that has a full service relocation department is because we get this business in. These buyers that are being relocated to Utah, it's good for your clients to know that we do work with one of the largest relocation management companies in the world, and we're receiving those buyers into our company. And so we're getting more opportunities for these people to see their home. And sometimes, you know, a lot of people assume, and it's not always the case, but most of the time it is the case, that these are going to be higher end buyers that are coming in for jobs because they're high end people that they need to get to this place for a certain position. And you know, these are good buyers that are coming in that we're receiving that opportunity for to assist. So it's just important to know that that is a benefit that you can offer your listing, you know, your sellers, is the understanding that they're working with a real professional company that does business with third-party relocation management companies. All right, so guidance. So if you're working with, if you're prospecting or you have someone you've been working with for 3 months and then all of a sudden they say, oh, I'm so sorry, I just found out I have to work with a relocation agent assigned by my relocation company. I don't know if any of you have ever heard this yet, but if you have, that can be really frustrating. Like, oh, really? You know, like, what do you say to that? Like, I have benefits attached to my move. I can't, you know, I can't not work with them. I want to get my benefits, and you want them to get their benefits. You want to protect those benefits. So I'll go with what a lot of the scripts say is when they say, hey, I just found out I have to work with the relocation agent assigned by my relocation company. Great. We have a full service relocation department and we can work with any relocation company. So then at that point, you need to instruct them to request you as their agent. And you can even provide my information as a contact for the relocation department. Or you can get their relocation contact information and I can call them on your behalf. So, but you always ask them to request you as their agent. And then you go back to your office or you hang up the phone and you call me or Debbie and you let us know that this is the client's name and I've asked them to request me as their agent. We'll walk you through what that looks like and what that means for you, which is typically a referral fee. There's going to be a referral fee attached to these leads. And you're gonna have to agree to pay it or you're not gonna get the opportunity to work with them, okay? But then you're just on your normal split. We don't mess with your split. We don't do anything different that way. But you do have to pay that referral fee back to that third-party relocation management company. It's how they get paid and it's how your client receives their benefits through that company, okay? So let's say you do get a pre-marketing work order from a third-party relocation company and you're like, what's pre-marketing? Well, that means that they're going to have the opportunity to list their home for sale and sell it. And if they can't sell it, oftentimes they'll be offered a guaranteed buyout or something else along those lines. And we will assist you with that paperwork. There's quite a bit of paperwork. I'm not trying to make you hate it, but just know that there's like a 6-page document that you need to fill out when you go out and meet with them about the listing. We will show you how to do that. We will talk you through that form and make sure you get the right information to fill out. And then the process to receive an offer, again, offer signed on a relocation transaction, depending on their benefit package, can be different, okay? I had an agent call me the other day and just say, why is the seller's disclosure so huge? It's like 30 pages long. And I'm like, yep, you know, because that's all the inspections that the company did before the client was able to list the home, plus the seller's disclosure, plus a blank seller's disclosure, plus, you know, so a lot of paperwork involved, but we're here to guide you through that. So you don't have to do that on your own and you don't have to be part of the team to learn how to do that, okay? So we will explain all of the forms and the requirements. We'll teach you what to say to a buyer's agent that has questions. You know, we'll make sure that you have the knowledge and the information you need to succeed in that transaction and support that client to make sure they receive their benefits. And also learning something new and a new process of business is fun. I think it's a great thing for you to know that's out there, and you will hear it someday. And one of you is going to hear it next week, and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I knew what to say when this happens." Right? So just keep that in mind. That if that happens to you, just get on the horn with me, and I'll walk you through it. All right. So any questions about third-party relocation and management companies? No. All right. So affinity partnership. So I kind of explained this earlier, but this is when two companies see a benefit in partnering and offering, offering services or goods to a client or member. And so that benefits both parties. Okay. That benefits both companies. So we, as a company in the relocation department, we currently have the opportunity to work with clients from some existing partnerships. And these are through Cardis, the Relogy Military Rewards Program, the Navy Federal Realty Plus Program, and the newest one, which I anticipate is going to start showing up more and more and more, is AARP, Real Estate Benefits from Relogy. So why am I sharing this with you if you're not receiving these leads and you don't have the opportunity to work with an incoming buyer or someone that's listing their home, is because you might hear the words when you're out on a listing appointment, for instance, or you're working with a buyer and they say, oh, you're like, who are you going to use for your loan? And they say, I'm going to use Navy Federal Credit Union. And you're like, that sounds familiar. Why does that sound familiar? I need to call Heather. So, and you can call me, because what happens with these programs, if they call up a lender and they say, hey, I want to get approved for a loan. Like, great. Are you working with an agent? And they say, yeah, I've started working with an agent. Okay. Who are they with? Central Toronto Nevers. Oh, they're part of our program. Or the client calls up and they ask if they tell them about this program where they can get a cashback benefit. And they're like, oh, well, I'm working with Central 21 Age. Oh, great. They're part of our program. So that could happen, and it has happened. And then it comes through the system. They request you as their agent. Well, we have to pay a 40% referral fee on those if you agree to pay it. If you say no, I'll say no for you and say, no, they're already working with this agent. But then you're going to have to deal with an unhappy client, right? So the win-win on this situation would be, hey, you know what? Our company is part of the Navy Federal Realty Plus program. And that's something that I know you get a benefit for. Let me look into it. I'll get back to you. And then you call me and you register them for that program. Then you are going to pay a 25% referral fee. Everything else will remain the same. You're just on your normal split on that at that point. But your client's going to get a cashback benefit at closing, and you're going to make them pretty happy. And I think a lot of agents that are on the team, they send agent generated referrals like this. Some of them through the Relogy Military Rewards, just as a thank you to veterans. So if they're in someone's house and they see people, or they see a lot of flags, and they see pictures of uniforms, that sort of thing, they're going to ask them if they're part of the military service. If they serve in the military, if they have, then they'll offer them this program. So it can be, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. It's certainly not required of you. You certainly don't have to do it. I just want you to be aware of it, because if you see or hear those words, I want you to know that that's a possibility that might happen. And so I want to make sure you understand that there's a way to make it the least painful and also the most productive for you with your clients. This is what the benefits look like for Relogy Military Rewards. So it's just a snapshot, but they do get a cashback benefit. That benefit, there's a referral fee, right? So if it's 25%, then this amount is coming out of that referral fee. You're not paying this in addition to that. So that is the Relogy Military Rewards Program. That's for anyone who's in the military. So it can be Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines. That's Navy, right? I feel like I'm missing some, but anyway, any service member. They have expanded it to service members' families. So if it's a child of a veteran, or so you can see how this gets out of control, right? Like you could probably offer to anyone and they could take advantage of it. But I just want you to know it's there. All right. Navy Federal Realty Plus program. This program has grown quite a bit, so it's gotten pretty big. They used to be like, I don't know, 1 million members, right? Well, now they're up to like 7 million. So this just gets bigger and bigger. And California has a lot of Navy federal credit unions in it. And so you will have more opportunity for that to come up for you. If you're in Utah, it's not as big, but any service member may have the ability to become a Navy federal credit union member. And so it does come up often in Utah as well. AARP, this is new as of March of last year. And we all know what happened in March of last year. COVID kind of came around. So it kind of put everything on pause and everything on hold, but they're starting to put it back into action to gain traction. So I'll just say if someone's a member of AARP, they can take advantage of these benefits. And I'm just going to put that out there for you. Now, am I suggesting you ask every single person you meet if they are a member of AARP? No, I'm not. I'm just saying if you're in a competitive situation, if you're in, if you see an AARP magazine on their table, if there's anything like that, then this is something you might want to just talk to them about, because they're gonna start advertising like crazy about this program. So just be aware. So Swen, you asked if that program, I'm assuming you mean this one, applies to active members or all vets. Both. It would qualify, anyone that has served qualifies to be part of that. Okay, next, and I would say for newer agents who are just trying to get their business off the ground and their business started, if you want to come and there's marketing materials I can give you. There's lots of things I can give you and provide to you. I'm not asking for you to go out and be a referral agent, right? Like you're going to give away 25% of your commission every time that you have the opportunity to. I'm just saying it's a way to offer services, okay, to your clients, and it's a good way to compete sometimes. And this is kind of a crazy market. So I just know that if you have a relationship in that community, it's a good way to go about it. Okay, Affinity Business Development Partnerships. So I always like to tell the agents this that are newer or that are going through peak agent training within the company, because not a lot of people know this is an available to them. So we actually have an internal program called Everest Moves, and there is a cashback benefit that is offered for those companies that work with us and that want to put us on their intranet. So just like our business benefits for you through Century 21 are on 21 Online, that's kind of our intranet where we would post business benefits. Now it's Century 21 sponsored, right? I can't just put anything up there that I want. But if I go to a company, let's just take the LDS Church as an example, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. As an example, we handle all the relocations for their seminaries and institute teachers, their welfare program, their facility managers, that sort of thing. And so we went to them, we said, hey, we'd like to offer this benefit to your employees if that's something you want to add to your intranet site. And they said, yeah, we have a lot of people that we do this with. We'd love for you to be on there. So we do have a flyer on there, and we get about 15 deals a year from that. So the problem with these partnerships is they're only as good as the company markets to them. So for instance, I know that corporation, they used to, and I'm sorry, I've said pre-COVID a lot this time. I don't usually say this, but when we were all getting together, they would have a benefits fair. So especially a company with a benefits fair. I went to the benefits fair once and I didn't bring an agent with me, which was a big mistake. I collected over 600 names, and email addresses, names, phone numbers. I got permission to send them stuff, and but a lot of people said, no, I don't want to receive anything. And it's like, wow, what a waste. I should have brought an agent with me, or I should have given that list to somebody or something. But if we put them in the Zap program where we send them information about their house, that's something that I think we could offer to do easily for any company who has employees. And if they have an employee benefit fair, that's where you're going to get the most traction. Okay. So I'm really going off topic here, but basically what I want you to know is that's possible to create that process with a company if you have a person that that works there in a certain position or owns it or something, because it doesn't have to be a national company. It can be a local that you offer these benefits to. All right. So when I'm talking to agents about this, I'm always asking, like, who do you know? Do you know someone in the human resource department who is in charge of employee benefits? And I would say benefits as in health benefits or any kind of employee benefits, because that person, if you have a good relationship with them, they're going to know who to send us to or who to introduce you to in order to get an appointment. Do you know any recruiters that are trying to get people to move to Utah? You can put together a really nice recruiting program to help that recruiter out. So, with the community information and, the valuable knowledge that you have about the market, you can give them, you can drive them around for an hour or two if they're in town for an interview and talk about the different markets and where you have information about transportation. Like, there's so much information you can provide to someone who's interested in moving to Utah that you can see if you were a recruiter and you had somebody that's willing to do this for you and willing to talk to these people and you have some success with it. Plus you're willing to offer them an affinity benefit to give to the client. They may or may not have relocation benefits. If they do have relocation benefits and they work with a third-party relocation company, then that's something you probably don't want to spend your time on unless you can get to that third-party relocation management company. So anyway, you're like, well, now I'm confused. I know, but you can just talk to me about it later. If there's someone like a C-level leader of the company, I just want you to think outside your box. That's it. That's all this conversation is right now, is like, oh, you're pretty high up in your company. What do you do for your company? Wow, do you guys move a lot of people in and out of state? That can be the start of a conversation about it. And just know, if we do set something up, what we do with you set the appointment and you get it all set. I have one next Thursday with a company in Vernal. It's an oil company, and they don't have a third-party relocation management company. Somehow they don't. I was like, what? They don't? Like, and I don't have time to go out and do this, but you are talking to people every day, and how it benefits you is I'll do all the back end work for you. You just have to set up the appointment just like you would a listing appointment. We'll go in together. We'll do all the reporting. We'll do the tracking. We'll do the presentation. We'll sell them on the program. And then you will be the lead agent on any business that comes in locally. And what happens if it's out of your market? We would place it with one of our team members, and you would get 30% of the company dollar retained. That's not of the commission, that's of company dollar retained. So whatever the company keeps, you would get 30% of that. Okay. So if it's a national company and they have offices in 3 states and they're going to be moving people to all of them, and we are working with them on it, you'll be able to receive a piece of that business because you set that up. So that's something we've created for you and in partnership with you. And I hope that you just keep it in mind. It's really just something I want you to think bigger with, like, just put it back there that there's bigger things than just your local market. Okay. Now, if you're like, I really do have something that I want to talk to her about, just call me and we'll talk about it. I have a full 45-minute training that I do with agents on what to say, who do you talk to, what does that look like, what does a presentation look like, just so you have that confidence and that feeling that you know what you're talking about when you go into to talk to these people. Okay, so if you have someone you want to work with, just let me know. All right, I'm going to touch really quickly on the rental finding team. Now, no one wants to spend a lot of time with renters. I mean, you don't want to take them out to some rentals, right? Like, you don't want to spend 6 hours with somebody to take them out. But some companies do pay for those. If we're given a choice and we're able to collect the fee based on what we charge, it's $685 per day. And you get paid on an 80-20 split on that money. If they pay us and it's under 500, then we do it exactly like we do the referral fees. We pay you everything we can minus the franchise fee. Okay. So there's a company that gives us quite a few referrals every year, and that they pay $300 for a full day's tour. That's 6 hours committed work with the client there in town. You will schedule and show properties. You assist with the lease agreement when needed. You report to the corporate client the results of the tour, including which properties you saw. You educate the tenant on how to do more searches on their own if they're unable to find something. So you're teaching them how to fish. You're taking them out to see a few properties. You're reporting back. You earn $300. So if you're interested in being on that team, you can let me know. Now, this is mostly applicable in Utah. Court doesn't send us a lot of stuff in California. But the same principle applies in California that applies here. And why I talk about it is because more and more we're getting more and more renters because they can't afford to buy, right? So there's a future in it, I think, down the line with your sphere. So if you're interested in assisting these clients just with information, maybe not a full tour, but you know, if we just have someone that wants to rent initially and then purchase in a year, then that's something to consider. We have resources for you to use for those people. This again is the older version of the flyer, and I'm a little worried that it's still in the system, but this is the Rent Smart flyer. It's just a flyer that we put online, and you can email it to your people. It's one that we send out. We send this information out to any renters that come through our process through the relocation department. But if you have a renters that you're working with and you want to put them in your sphere, I mean, and they're just looking for a place, let them know how to find a rental. Send them this information on what's going to strengthen their ability to get a rental in California or Utah. And one of the things that we sent out is a pet resume, you know, and how to use that to your advantage when you have a pet, because that's a problem, right? Then if you're getting 25 applications, just like you're getting sometimes 25 offers on properties, then we want them to have the strongest application possible. And if, you know, the more you can tell these landlords or these property management companies about you, the better chance you have of getting into a place. So this is available to you online. Excuse me. And we also send out the one source information or the Everest Moves information for them to use. They can use those programs even as a renter. So that help with setup of utilities and maintenance, or not maintenance, utilities and services like cable and TV and, you know, all of that stuff. You can use that as a renter as well, as long as you have a 1-year contract. They will do that. They will perform those services for your client for free. So anyway, for what it's worth, I just want you to know there's a need for rental finding assistance. There's also a need for information. And if you're the only agent that's providing them with this stuff, who do you think they're going to turn to when they have a real estate need? You know, and you can still put them in your Zap, and you can still follow up with them, and you can still create services for them, and they can be part of your sphere, so that when they are ready to buy a house, you're there waiting for them. All right, business benefits for your clients. We already talked about this, but we talked. I think the pods is a good one still. Budget trucks is still very good. I know Everest Moves is something we're going to talk about next. The home protection plan, that's an old logo, but that is also available, and that is through American Home Shield. And they do have a removing company or two in there. And choice hotels, like your clients can take advantage of discounts at these choice hotels, and the list of those hotels are in your business benefits page on 21 Online. Okay, we're almost done, guys. So I usually like to get you out of here a half hour early. I think we're going to make it. I think we're almost there. So Everest Moves, your personal concierge for life. I just want to make sure you're aware of this program. Your clients do receive a link branded with your information if they list a property. So the time of listing, if you put in their email and their phone number and their information, then they do receive a link that says, hey, if you're interested in this concierge service, you're going to be receiving a phone call or contact from Everest Moves. And it is powered by Move Easy. So they know to introduce themselves as Everest Moves when they do talk to your clients when they get the work order. But I just want you to know that it's happening automatically. And the good news is you control all of it ultimately. So if you're like, I don't want to use that, you can go in and stop it from happening. You should receive a link as you're new to the company. That link should come to you. If you don't have that, or you don't know what I'm talking about, I can just tell you, I can send you the link to the actual website, and then it's going to be your same email address that's used with 21 Online. The password should be sent to you, and if it's not, then you just can reset it using your email that you use for 21 Online. All right, so part of the services that are offered, you know, you can actually add your mortgage company in there, your home warranty, your insurance. If you have someone You can actually go in and add these vendors into your program. Okay. And the thing that I love though is that they're also, they offer a mail forwarding service. I remember when I had to do it myself, I had to pay $1. They take care of that for us and take care of that for your client. If they're having movers, they will get them, like I said, 3 bids they can choose from. And they also offer to handle utilities with them. I had recently, one of my friends bought a condo and she used the utility services for that. And she was able to get quotes from the various internet and TV providers in that area that provide in that area. And they gave her information on all the deals and when your contract looked like. So they don't just have one provider. They go to anyone that's in the market area that makes sense to offer to your client. And they can say, no, I don't like any of those options. Or they can say, yeah, I like this one. And they'll get it set up for them. Anyway, you can put your own vendors in here. And we're right now, the reason we're doing a relaunch is we're putting in vendors, company vendors and core partners and things like that for the whole company to have access to. But why is this cool? Why do you care? I mean, yeah, it's kind of a nice service, but why do you care about it? So your clients access their Everest moves through multiple channels. They can do, there's a branded site they have access to and branded emails. I'm saying branded because it's branded with you. Okay, it's going to say your agent, Melanie Velasco. Did I say her name right, Melanie? Sorry if I butcher it. Recommends the person. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so if they if they ask for a painter, it's like Melanie Velasco doesn't have a recommendation for that, but we're going to find one for you, right? But that's through Alexa. If they're like, hey, Alexa, I need a painter, then guess what comes up a year from now? Your Century 21 agent, Melanie, she recommends this painter. All right. So it's really cool. It just kind of keeps you in their mind, in their frame of reference as their real estate agent. Okay. So I love that for your sake. For their sake, let's see. This is how this comes in for them. So within 48 hours of it going under contract for a buyer or of the listing going, the listing contract being submitted to Dash, which is, if you put it in Dotloop and you have people putting that in for you or whatever you do, once it goes through the system and it gets to Century 21, that's when the information goes out to you as the agent. And there's an email that you receive that says, in 48 hours, your client so-and-so is going to receive an email from Everest Moves. At that point, if you're like, oh, this is a lot, I'm listing a lot for sale, I don't need that to go out, you can just click there, nope, no, please stop it from going out. You can do it that way. The other way is to just control it yourself. You can go into your dashboard and you can fix it so that it only goes out when you add somebody. And you can add anybody anytime. I had one agent from California tell me that, I think the listing one goes out too late because they've already done all the repairs and everything. So why wouldn't I want it to go out earlier? And I'm like, well, you can send it out anytime you want. So if it's 6 months before they're ready to list and they want to start working on some stuff, you can send them the link to that early, anytime you want. As long as the same email is used when you submit the listing, they won't get a second email. So the system's intuitive and it does a good job of making sure your client's not being overwhelmed or overloaded with these additional emails, okay? All right, so your client gets a branded invite from you. And so it's like, hey, and you can also go in and change what this says if you want on your emails. So you can reword it, you can change it. You have total control over this. It's just most agents don't want control, which I totally get. I'd be like, hey, as long as it's going out and it's professional, that's cool. But some agents really like to know and really want control, okay? And they don't like things going out automatically to their clients. So if you're one of those agents, you can go in and manage that as much as you want. You can be part of that process. You can change it. You can send it, not send it, whatever you want to do. You just take it into your dashboard and you'll have access to that. Then if you want to go in and add somebody, you can also do that. Just go in and add a client. It's very, very easy. At first, just getting to know where everything is something you'll want to learn. But it's a really easy, great program. Okay, so then your client will get assigned a concierge agent. So they'll receive an email, they'll receive a phone call, and they may even receive a text, but it's all branded with, it's from your, I keep thinking of Rocky because I think that's Rocky. That picture is with Rocky because Rocky's one of the guys that gets assigned to a lot of our clients. Anyway, but they can use the self-serve platform. So whichever way your client wants to engage, it's available for them to engage that way through the concierge service. So some people are like, please don't call me. I don't want to be called. Just send me an email. That's how they'll do it. You know, they're very, they understand that we want our client to be served the way that they want to be served, not the way that they think they should be. So keep that in mind. And if you have positive or negative feedback about the program, you can get with me. I always want to know because we're always wanting to make things better for you and for your clients. Okay. I will tell you this, I've had a couple of complaints and every time I've called, it's been totally, I think one time a vendor called them outside the program, but it was their request to be contacted by that vendor and that vendor made them mad. So that was one thing. And then the other one was the client said they hadn't been contacted. And so our agent was getting pretty upset, like, why haven't they contacted them? They said they're going to contact them. And we went in there and they had left 3 messages. And, you know, so sometimes either if it's a wrong number or something that can be explained, but I've had really good feedback about this service. So if you're not using it or you have questions about it, give it a chance. And if you really want to know more about it, get into your dashboard and look at it. All right. Whew, that is it. We're 9 minutes ahead of schedule, so there is going to be time for questions. And I do, I'm going to stop the screen share, and I just want you guys to get online and just let me see your face so I can know who you are and you know who I am. But I always have questions like, how do I get some of that income in business, man? Like, I want some of that income in business. So this is the team criteria. And so I just like you to know about it. It's 2 years full-time real estate experience. You need to have 10 or more closings per year of your own business, even with the business we give you, okay? You need to participate in sending outgoing broker-to-broker referrals and or agent-generated referrals. So if you're like, you know, I'm new or I've been doing this for a year, so if I have another year, I want to be considered for the team sooner rather than later. I'm gonna really focus on outgoing and agent-generated referral business, all right? You need to be in good standing with an excellent service track record, and you need to agree to background checks. That's 85 once every 5 years, and comply with any training certifications. It's actually $150 now. They just raised it this year, and $175 for pre-marketing and inventory, which comes down the road after you've been doing the other stuff first. The only other thing I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to go ahead and stop share. And there you guys are. Thank you for getting online. I really appreciate that. Oh, it's good to see you. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, so there's that company called OpCity that I told you about. So once you have 5 transactions that have closed, if that's something you want to be considered for, then just know that that is an option for you. So if you're, you know, producing right now and you've got your, like, hey, I'm almost on my 5th closing, and that's something you want to be considered for, you need to let me know. And we will kind of engage you in that process. And what that looks like is a 40% referral fee would come off the referral off the top, and then you're on an 80-20 split. So so there's 60% left, so that's, you get 40% basically of that business. That seems like a lot. That seems very expensive, right? But this is a lead that's generated to you, and you don't have to prospect for it, right? So keep that in mind. That is something we are making more available to more of the agents in the company. And any questions about any of this stuff we've talked about today? That was a lot. I talked fast. Okay, so we've got Ryan Larson, Edward Brinton, and Chad Johnson. Hello. Melanie, nice jacket. I like your jacket. Okay, Swen.
Yeah, it's Swen with the
Swen.
W. Yep.
Okay. Is that your first name?
Yeah.
What's your last name?
Nielsen.
Swen Nilsson. Okay. Okay. And then Adrian, thank you for your comments earlier. I appreciate that. Brian, nice to see your face. I did remember looking you up once for your referral. And Nicole, I see a picture of Nicole. I don't see Jordan, Bethany, James, the mystery guest. That must be the other room. So, and I know there's some people in the training room. So, is there any other question? Any questions? No, I covered it all, and I was perfect in all my explanations. That's awesome. I appreciate that. But no, I really appreciate your time. I know your time's valuable. I hope that you at least have one golden nugget. If I was to pick one, I'd say, what do you think I'd say? Swen, what would I say?
Say that one more time.
What would I say is the golden nugget I want you to take away from this presentation? What do you think that is?
My guess of what I would say is there's a lot of opportunities out there that we may not think are available, and that we actually have access to them.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love that one. But what I want from you guys that I can see your faces. There's 6 of us. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is who's ready to send an outbound referral?
We all are.
Yeah, I mean, all I would ask is that you just ask that question. Do you have a need outside this marketplace? Or you have family in Florida, or you have family in Colorado, you know? As you're calling your sphere and you're letting them know you're in real estate, you know, call them, even if they're not in this market area, to let them know you can help them anywhere. All right. Just know, and as you're practicing scripts and as you're getting to know, you're making those calls and stuff, just add that question. You might as well just start now. For those of you that are new, or those of you that are experienced, man, just start asking the question and make sure people know. Don't be that secret agent like I was with my family. Like, let them know that you can help them anywhere. You're powerful. Use it. All right. That's all I've got today. My name's Heather Barker. If you have any questions, I'm going to be sending out some information for you to use through Rust, and my information will be on that. So if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help you, to be of assistance when you need it. Okay.
Thank you.